Hey guys, Simpson2142 here. Haven't been playing much of Overwatch as of recent. Been playing this game where you get to be a dinosaur. And you have to survive in a world with other dinosaurs by eating, drinking, and roaring. Anyway, I came to Overwatch and started playing some competitive, and what I've noticed is an increasing popularity in the hero Mercy, which kind of shocked me, to be honest. I remember not too long ago that Mercy was a rare sight on the Overwatch field, mainly due to the fact that she was simply an inferior version of Ana, couldn't offer as much healing, and lacked crucial abilities such as the Sleep Dart and the Anti-Nade. At first I couldn't quite figure out as to why this was. Ana hadn't received any significant nerfs, nor had Mercy received any significant buffs. But after playing a bit of Ana, the reasons started to become quite clear. Ana is still a very good hero, but with this current meta shift now favouring the use of Winston and D.Va, Ana is having a much more difficult time to being used to her full potential. A combination of Winston's bubble barrier and D.Va's defense matrix are making Ana's ability to shoot healing darts into her fellow teammates quite problematic. Same being said for her Sleep Dart and Anti-Nade. Not to mention that dive comp seems to be quite favoured right now, so if your team is also running a D.Va and a Winston, along with a Genji and a Tracer, these heroes are a lot more mobile and therefore harder for Ana to hit. So with Ana seeing less viability, Mercy has naturally come back into the light. Her lock-on healing beam can heal through enemy Winston barriers and D.Va defense matrices. Not to mention that her lock-on makes it much easier to heal high mobility targets. But seeing an increase in Mercy use has also seen the increase in problem her character presents, both for the people who play against her, the people playing with her, and finally the people actually playing her. And the problem lies with her ultimate ability to resurrect fallen teammates. It's just too good of an ability, and it is therefore the main focus point of an entire team fight, for both you and the enemy. The ability to revive your entire team after a complete wipe is incredibly powerful, and is almost guaranteed to swing the fight back into your team's favour. That is until the enemy Mercy also does the same thing. And people have realised how ridiculously powerful this is, because they will focus their entire efforts on killing the Mercy before a proper team fight has begun. In both lower and pro matches, you'll commonly hear the phrases, "Where's the Mercy? Have we killed the Mercy? Mercy's low, finish off Mercy. Mercy's hiding over here, come help me kill the Mercy." And there's good reason for this. There is no point wasting efforts on killing the rest of the team with your abilities and ultimates if the enemy Mercy is only going to come back and bring them all back to life anyway, which is then going to leave your team at a disadvantage. But it's not just the other heroes that suffer from this. Mercy herself also doesn't see great gameplay. I mean, sure, it's great if you manage to fly in and get that 4 or 5 man res off, but actually being able to get that payoff is a lot of effort and frustration. First off, before the fight has even begun, you have to make yourself hidden to avoid getting jumped and assassinated. So that means your team is already going into a 5v6 fight. You then need to have your teammates not only die, but die at the same time and in the same location. Which with the current dive comp meta is surprisingly difficult to pull off. All the while you have to sit there and do absolutely nothing, praying to God that no one happens to stumble upon you. And once it is your time to shine, all your teammates are dead, they've all died on the point. You have to still get your ass to them as fast as possible, as everyone on the enemy team is now looking for you and waiting for you to fly in so they can pick you off to deny you that res. And if you do happen to die at any point in the process, your team will flame you, and they will flame you hard.
You fucking troll! One job is to hide! You have nothing else to do! We don't need you to heal. We don't need the damage boost. We don't need shit. We just need the res. That's all we need. You can't die first. You fucking soap bar.
Even if you manage to get a res off, but only manage to get some of your teammates, they are still going to flame and blame you. And what kind of gameplay is that for anyone? It sucks for the enemy team, as no matter how well they do in the team fight, their efforts will be in vain unless they manage to kill the Mercy. And it sucks for your team, as they're being told to purposely sacrifice themselves in hope that they will get res before ending up back at spawn. And if the res doesn't go off, well, we just have to try again next time. Good job feeding the enemy's ult charge, and then losing precious time for the match. But most importantly, the gameplay sucks for the person actually playing Mercy. Having to hide away and doing absolutely nothing, just waiting for the perfect moment to pop res in hope that it will turn the game around, is not great at all. And waiting for that opportunity can take absolutely ages, because as stated before, your teammates need to die, they need to die in the same place, and they need to die within the same time. So if that's the problem, what's my solution on how to fix it? Well, I've given it quite some thought, and I think I've come up with something that can benefit all. But it will sound crazy at first, so please just hear me out. I think Mercy should only be allowed to resurrect one person at a time. And whoa, I know, it sounds like a crazy idea. It will make her unplayable. But wait, I do have more. To compensate for this nerf to Mercy, there will be buffs for her too. First is seeing that as how now her ult is a lot less effective, it should now be given a faster charge, let's say around 30%. Having her ultimate ability being nerfed makes it far less of a game changer, so that if you or your team deploy a well coordinated attack and manage to wipe the enemy team, you're not going to get a huge slap in the face to have all your efforts undone in a single press of a button. It also means that on the flip side that your team won't need to purposely sacrifice themselves anymore in hope of a multi-man res. And of course, it means there's far less pressure on the Mercy player, as if one player gets quickly picked at the start of a team engagement, she without a thought can easily bring them back, no problem. Especially since with the faster ult charge, she'll have another single man res by the time the fight's truly engaged. This change creates a less pressured environment for all players and encourages people to actually play truer and better. But I do realise that Mercy's ultimate is a huge factor as to why she's picked, so I think she's going to need a little something else to help her stay in the meta. And that something is to give her a brand new ability altogether. Now, the talk of giving Mercy a brand new ability is no new subject. Lots of people have noted that Mercy is the only character in the game to have no second ability, which becomes increasingly more noticeable considering that the latest 3 heroes to the game, Sombra, Orisa and Doomfist, each possess 3 abilities. Now there has been popular suggestions in the past as to what Mercy could or should have. One has been to give her a cleansing ability, something that would have a similar effect as to Zarya's bubbles, in which Mercy could apply it to a selected healing target and it would clear all negative traits such as Discord or Anti-Nade. Or another is giving her the ability to fire off a flare which she can then jump to, should there be no teammates around to help her escape from danger. Now, these ability suggestions are all fine on their own merit, but I would rather something that makes her more engaging, something which can help her stay in the fight longer, something that can really raise the skill ceiling for her character as a whole. And I think I might just have it. Let's take a look back at the game which part inspired Overwatch, Team Fortress 2, and more specifically, the character from Team Fortress 2 which inspired Mercy, the Medic. Like Mercy, the Medic would also have a healing stream which he would then lock onto a friendly target. But also like Mercy, some players found this gameplay to be a bit slow, and not very enthralling at all. Now despite only having 9 heroes in Team Fortress 2, these 9 heroes would later be given new weapons which would hold different traits and different abilities for players to choose upon, effectively giving one hero multiple gameplay styles. So Valve gave the Medic character different mediguns to choose from. There was a gun which offered a faster charge, a gun which offered faster healing, and finally a gun which was dubbed the Vaccinator. And this is the gun I want to focus on in particular. This medigun was drastically different from the other 3 mediguns, as it gave the ability to make the medic and his healing target damage resistant to different types of incoming fire. The medic could switch this damage resistance from bullet damage to explosive damage and to fire damage, whilst also building charge on the gun to offer small bursts of heightened resistance that lasted for a few seconds at a time. Not only did the medic gain this damage resistance too, but he would also recover a small percentage of health in relation to the amount of damage he was resisting on his healing target. This was an amazing new gameplay style for the medic. It not only made the game a lot more engaging and intense for the person playing the medic, but it also gave them far more carrying potential for the team, rewarding their high skill efforts with the ability to stay alive longer and keep his teammate alive longer. This is something I think could be implemented very nicely onto Mercy. Have her select the type of damage she's resistant to, so for Overwatch that could be either bullet, explosive or plasma based weapons, and by plasma based I mean characters such as Zarya, Symmetra and even Winston, and have the E key to give that small burst of heightened resistance for a few seconds. And rather than have Mercy gain health for resisting damage like in Team Fortress 2, have her instead gain temporary shield, similar to that of what Doomfist currently has as his passive ability in the PTR. This would not only make Mercy a far more engaging and exciting character to play as she can now play much closer to the front lines, but will also help raise the skill gap between Mercy players. At the moment, there's a huge stigma against Mercy mains, in the higher ranks especially. People claiming she requires little skill, and so almost anyone can master her. Well, with this new character layout, a great Mercy will now be able to switch to the appropriate resistance, and know when to apply the burst resistance as well. And in doing so, she will not only keep her team alive, but also herself alive. This will help separate the average Mercy player from the great Mercy players. Now I know this would involve a massive rework of the characters and will obviously cause a lot of ripples in the water, but it's something I thought about long and hard, and I truly believe this is the better direction to take Mercy in. Even if it means Blizzard on the off chance see this video and just play around with some internal testing, it would be great to at least see them explore the possibility of an idea like this. As I explained earlier, it benefits everyone. The Mercy player, her team, and even the enemy team. Anyway guys, that's going to do it for me today. Please let me know what you think of the proposed changes I've made, as I'd like to hear your thoughts and feedback on the idea. Do you think they're good? Do you think they're terrible? Or do you think Mercy is fine the way she is and should just be left alone? And if you happen to be watching, what do you think, Jeff Kaplan? But until the next one guys, take care of yourselves.